Vote later today to extend the debt limit up through early December. And this follows the Senate's vote last week averting default on part of the nation's debt. So that's one victory for President Biden, who is working to get his infrastructure bill and the larger package of social spending passed by the end of the month. The social spending is the point of contention and drawn out negotiation, but it has the potential to benefit millions of Americans if President Biden is able to get it passed. Historian Julian Zelizer thinks Biden could learn from his predecessor, LBJ, who got ambitious and expensive social programs, including Medicare, passed back in the 1960s. Julian Zelizer is a professor of history and public policy at Princeton University, and he joins us now. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Julian, when you look back at what President Lyndon Johnson accomplished with his Great Society legislation, it's almost impossible to imagine the country without these things. We're talking Medicare and Medicaid, the Civil Rights Act, the Air Quality and Water Quality Acts. What parallels do you see between LBJ's agenda and Joe Biden's?
Well, LBJ undertook a huge expansion of the federal government and confirmed the commitment in this nation to use government to deal with social
Hey, thanks.
and
Have a great
economic
day. Good luck.
problems where there was great inequity. LBJ called on the government to help solve that. And I think the reconciliation package, as it's called, contains a number of programs, such as support for child care, that would achieve comparable goals.
Thinking about today, the social spending package is being whittled away to bring the cost down and to make it more palatable to Democrats like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, who oppose the current version. How do you think Biden should be framing the benefits of this spending and thinking about LBJ's legacy?
Well, I think it's important to talk about what new programs would do rather than what they would cost. Not that cost is irrelevant, but if Americans don't understand what a policy will achieve,
Taxes
it's hard to
are
get
free.
excited about it.
Remember, Regeneron,
Johnson
DeSantis,
pushed
taxes
for
are
Medicare,
free.
for example.
If taxes
He
pay for
talked
something,
about
that means
what
it's
effect
free.
it would have on older people as they sought help from a hospital. It would give them insurance. And I think Biden has to do more of that because a lot of the debate is focused on the overall cost and the compromise cost as opposed to what the different measures would do.
This point you're making,
It's a lot of money.
CBS
It's gonna do a
actually
lot of
just
good.
reported this. They did a poll and they found that American people hear a lot about the price tag and the political fighting, but they don't actually know or understand what's in the legislation. That's what you're saying here.
It's partly your
Exactly
job,
right.
media.
And LBJ was very
Don't just follow the
cognizant
story
of this, and he made
where the
great
hits and
effort,
the
even as
outrage
he
is
faced
going.
opposition, to make sure it was clear to voters what these policies would do. He did it on other programs, such as voting rights and education programs. So I think even though there's challenges for Biden to do this, this is what the president needs to do to push an agenda.
Will failing to pass these bills ultimately, though, hurt Democrats going forward?
Oh, for sure. I think if this all ends without tangible legislative accomplishments, it will certainly dampen the enthusiasm of Democrats.
Because what are we asking you to do? Go to Congress and pass budgets.
And thinking in terms of legacy, it will be
Especially when we have a majority.
very hard.
We need a bigger majority.
Political time again. That's something else that we go over use these windows and move on.
Really quickly, I have about a minute with you. I mean, the Democrats have a very slim majority in the House and a 50-50 split in the Senate. That's a much narrower majority than the Congress that LBJ was working with. I mean, President Johnson was able to strong-arm Democrats to get what he wanted. What happened to party discipline?
Well, the party was also divided back then between Southerners and Northerners, and what Johnson counted on was the union movement, the civil rights movement, to see grassroots support bubble up and pressure members of Congress to follow and enact this agenda. And I think Biden might need some of that help in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, what will you be watching for as we move through this week? I have about 30 seconds with you.
Well, speed and timing. I think now there's a new window in December. We're going to get caught up again in a debt ceiling debate. And it's about how he can reframe this issue in the next few weeks and what kind of help he's getting in states, including like West Virginia, to put some pressure on Democrats of all persuasions to
Joe Manchin.
follow the party line.
Democrats of all
Million Zelizer
persuasions.
is
Joe
a professor
Manchin.
of history and public affairs
Buy
at
Joe
Princeton
Manchin's
University.
coal
As
plants.
always, thank
Convert
you
them
so
to
much.
biomass. Burn
Thanks for
weed.
having
Make weed legal in West Virginia. Done, done, done. Buy Manchin is the hashtag. Buy Manchin. Like buying a big house, but spell it Manchin. Buy Manchin. M-A-N-C-H-I-N. Buy Manchin. He's a footnote in history like Hilla Who.
And you're
But
listening
he's an
to Here
obstacle to
Now.
progress, so buy him off. We got the money.